Hey guys, Blaumagier here, and we're back with another episode of Let's Play Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. In the last episode we explored Kakariko Village and found the Elder's actual location. In this episode, we're going to talk to him after looting his house. Or hideout, or whatever you want to call this place. Switch to the boomerang so I don't actually use a bomb. I am indeed Sahasrara, the village elder and a descendant of the seven sages. Oh, really? I am surprised that one so young is searching for the sword of evil's bane, Joshua. Not just anyone can use that blade. Legends say only the hero who has won the 3 pendants can wield the sword. Do you truly wish to find it? Of course. Good. For your first test, can you retrieve the Pendant of Courage from the East Palace? If you bring it here, I shall share more of my knowledge with you. Now onward to the palace. I believe he actually marked our map where the palace is. Yes. Now we have the locations of the pendants and the sword. This is actually a little different than the original game. The original game only marked the first pendant. But we need to head to that green pendant to the east. And hopefully not take too much damage from these Armoses. There we go. Now, one thing I'm going to do in this series, or at least try my best to do it, is to get dungeons entirely in one video. Because not only will it help to not throw me off my mojo, but it will also make viewing a little smoother. Anyways, here we have the East Palace, the first dungeon of the game. And let's see, what are these guys called? I'm actually going to try to call everything by their correct name. I don't have it all memorized, so I kind of have to cheat and look on my sheet here. Okay, these are Popos. Like the ice climber. Popos also are enemies that tend to drop rupees in high amounts. Okay, we have balls here. You want to be careful because sometimes giant balls come out. I took a lot more damage than I should have there. Alright, we got... I think these are blue Stalfos? It's hard to tell. Blue Stalfos just jump away from you when you try to slash them with your sword. Not really too big a deal. Alright, nothing we can do over here actually. Not right now. Now, normally I would not have gone this way, but I was just kind of curious what's over here. It's probably just the compass or the map or something. Yep, the map. So then I know where the compass is. Okay, since I haven't talked about it, well, I'll wait until I get all 3 of the items. Well, never mind, I'll do it now. The map. Alright, when you actually have the map, it'll show all of the rooms in the dungeon. The ones you haven't visited will be dark blue, and ones you have visited will be light blue. When you don't have the map, it'll look like this, except you won't see the dark blue rooms. I do believe you always see the big chest when you have been to the room that it's in. So that's why that big orange block appeared on the map. I don't think I even need to defeat the Stalfos here. Sure didn't. I believe 4 Stalfos are going to fall from the room, or just appear. You know, whichever. Maybe 3. Okay, my memory's not perfect. Defeating them opens up the room. And over here should be the compass. Yeah, it's one of the few compasses that I remember, so I can usually skip it in a speedrun. Over here we can talk to Sahasrara. Joshua, it is I, Sahasrara. I can talk to you telepathically when you touch these tiles. I have advice for you. The treasure hidden in this palace will help you defeat armored foes. That's a hint that says use the treasure that you get here on the boss. And over here we have a blue Igor. You can defeat them in one shot with a pot, but there's no reason for us to. Now we can't open the big chest yet because we don't have the big key. That is something that they introduced in this game and has carried on to nearly every single Zelda game since. Although the name of the big key does tend to change. I know it's the Nightmare key in A Link to the Past, and I think it's the boss key in most games like Ocarina of Time. But it wouldn't be right to call it the boss key here because it does more than just open up the boss room. But that is one of its functions now, is to open up the boss room. So those who are only veterans of the first 2 games may have to adjust. Right here in this room, in the Super Nintendo version, there's a glitch where you can take damage and lift that pot, but it was fixed in the Game Boy Advance version. Even if you are invincible, you cannot lift up that pot until you have defeated the enemies and made all of the anti-fairies scatter. So that's what we will do. Okay, now all the enemies are defeated and the anti-fairies have moved, and we can step on that switch and get the big key. And with the big key we can open up the big treasure chest and the boss doors. That was an example of a boss door, but you don't always have a boss door guarding a boss. But I will say that now. Alright, over here we're going to have a one-time enemy in the game. Gray Stalfos. And all they do is detach their heads from their bodies, and eventually their heads will leave. It'll take 4 hits normally to kill them, but you can only attack them while their heads are still attached. In this room we can catch some fairies in our bottles. Doing so will give us a free revive if we lose all our hearts. So it's worthwhile to do on our first visit. Because you never know when you'll meet an untimely end. Go ahead and fill up those 2 hearts there. Okay, we got a bunch of Popos and some Igors. I'm gonna take out these Popos in hopes of getting some rupees. Of course, now that we have the bow, we could alternatively use that against the Igors, but it's kind of a waste. Okay, the key is where I'm supposed to go, so that undoubtedly means that there's rupees in here. And like I said, you need a lot of rupees to get 100% in this game. And this is actually a lot more rupees than I usually have in this dungeon. I think I usually come out of this dungeon with maybe 250 on a good run. One thing about the anti-fairies is you'll lose magic as you're touching them, even if you're currently in invincibility frames from suffering damage. Let's see. Over here, I'm just going to go ahead and use an arrow. Because we need to hit that switch. And hey, what do you know? I got restocked. Full arrows. Alright, over here we're just going to have a bunch of balls coming at us. Just hit that switch and move on through. I don't want to get too close to that red Igor. You have to use arrows against red Igors, and they take 2 arrows. Ah, I missed. Oh, I missed. But not to worry, there are plenty of arrows under the pots to restore our arrows. And here we have the boss. I'm probably going to have to edit their name in. I believe they are Armos Knights, though. And they take 3 hits with the arrows to defeat. And when I got them down to 2, I like to get 2 shots on each one. There we go. And I messed that up. But defeating the boss gets us a heart container, which we must collect. And then after we collect the heart container, our pendant falls from the sky. You won the Pendant of Courage. Take it to Sahasrara. 2 pendants remain. Luckily, that dungeon was actually pretty short, so I will go ahead and go on to Sahasrara. So, you got the Pendant of Courage. Then I shall tell you more of the legend. Generations ago, an order of knights protected the Hylian royalty. These knights of Hyrule were also guardians of the Pendant of Courage. It has been said that whenever disaster waylays the royal family, a hero shall emerge from the bloodline of the Knights of Hyrule. Unfortunately, most of them were destroyed in the Great War against the evil that took place when 7 sages created their seal. So it was thought that a hero would never again emerge. But lo, I believe you are our hero, Joshua. Find the remaining pendants, and carry this with you. It is a treasure passed down by the families of the sages. I want you to have it. He gave you the Pegasus shoes. Now you can execute a devastating dash attack. Alright, so with these boots, we can actually dash into these walls that I was talking about instead of laying bombs. An item that shall aid you is hidden in the cave on the east side of Lake Hylia. Go find it. Alright. Well, with that, I think I am going to end this episode off here. This has been Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. I am Blaumagier, and I will see you guys later.